Guests, please welcome to the BSc Toastmasters Club meeting. In Toastmasters program, we count the years from July to June. This means this is the last meeting of this year, Toastmasters year 14-15, and this is the last meeting that I will preside the club and the chairman of the meeting. As of next meeting, there will be another committee leading the club, and I will be the immediate past president. And talking about that, I think there is someone else that also has been a president of a club. And please, Maria Teresa, introduce your guest to us.
Thank you, Madam Chairperson. Fellow Toastmasters, honored guests. She's turning red, but I am so pleased after several attempts to have a former president join us at the Toastmaster meeting, I finally succeeded. She was not just a brilliant president, and her term was 2007, but unfortunately, due to some conflicts and some issues, she had to resign in the, I think in the middle of her term. Pregnancy. Well. In any event, I also remember her as a humorous speaker. She competed once in a humorous speech contest, and she was incredible. You really miss seeing her. So after all these things, I'm so pleased to introduce you to Natalie Schormsler.
Welcome. And we have at least two other guests, if I'm not wrong. I don't know who. Do you want to introduce yourself, or is the person that brought you to the club here?
I brought Elena in through the gate, but she registered herself via Easy Speak. Perhaps you'd like to introduce yourself.
Yeah, I'm coming from outside, so to say. I'm not a member for the event. And yeah, I heard about your Toastmaster Club, and I'm anxious to see how you work and yeah, what's different compared to the other clubs I know. Yeah.
Welcome. So you're a member of another club in Vienna?
Not yet, but I have joined many of them, so yeah.
Welcome. Welcome. And we have another guest.
Yes, my name is Sachiko. The club, Claire Edward introduced me to this club, and I'm pretty much interested, so I will see how I can fit in.
Welcome. Normally, we invite guests to come up to 3 times. If you're interested to continue coming, you can join us and be part of this great community where we support each other in becoming better speakers and also better leaders. And I want to continue quickly to the meeting, so I'll hand over to the person that leads us through the meeting today, the Toastmaster of the day, our colleague Shubha Rana. Thank you.
Hello Toastmasters, honored guests. I'm really pleased to welcome you today. And it's a nice timing. I think outside is not so pleasant to go, and this is a cozy room, I find it. Today we have 3 parts of the session. The first part is prepared speech, and this will be delivered by Vic Tm. The second speech we don't have today. This will be followed by second part of the session, table topics, and the table topics master is Nicole for today. And the third part is general evaluation, which will be led by Toastmaster Lily. And I would like to kindly invite Toastmaster Lily to introduce your team.
So in Toastmasters, we have the prepared speeches and the evaluation of the speeches, the feedback, which is an integral part of the Toastmasters Club. So my evaluation team today, we have a grammarian. Maria Teresa will be our grammarian today. The evaluator of the first speech will be Glenda, who will be evaluating the prepared speech. And we also have a timekeeper. It's important in Toastmasters to maintain the times, and we have our former previous Toastmaster and experienced president who will be the timekeeper today. we have 3 cards. Would you like to explain, Natalie, what the timekeepers, what you will be showing us? Do you remember that, or should I do it for you?
Would you mind?
Okay, so basically the prepared speech today is between 5 and 7 minutes. So at 5 minutes the green card will be shown, which means you have reached your target amount. At 6 minutes the yellow card will be shown, which is about midway. Once you see the orange card, it means 7 minutes have passed, and if it was a competition, 30 seconds after that you would be disqualified. In this meeting, it's only all practice, there are no disqualifications, and during the competition, the red card is not put down when the 30 seconds is over, so you don't know when you're disqualified. So as soon as you see the red card, it's a good idea to prepare to finish within 30 seconds. And for the table topics, we have between, this has always been confusing, 1 to 2 minutes. So once you've reached 1 minute, you'll have the green card. At 1.5 minutes, the yellow card. At 2 minutes, the red card. 2.5 minutes, you would be disqualified in the competition. We also have a ballot counter, which will also be Natalie. We vote for the best table topics. So table topics is the impromptu speaking, and after that we each are invited to select the one that we think did the best job, and the winner receives the prize. And then I will give a general evaluation of the whole meeting the way that I saw it. Thank you. Yes?
I just have a point of order. As grammarian, I usually, or the grammarian should come up with the word of the day. My word of today is commitment, in any form. If you're committed to something, if you want to commit yourself to something, commitment. I'm sorry I don't have it displayed, but I just found out I was going to be grammarian about 3 minutes ago. But commitment is today's word of the day. Again, the idea is that you try to use the word as much as possible, either in a prepared speech or in the table topics, or even in your evaluations. Thank you, Madam General Evaluator.
Thank you, Madam Grammarian. And the grammarian plays an important role in bringing our attention to the good usage of words, of grammar, and also pointing out places where we can improve. On that note, thank you, Madam Toastmaster of the Day.
So now we start with the speaker, Vic Tm. His title of the speech is Vienna Energy Forum 2015, Sustainable Energy for Inclusive Development. By the way, I heard this was a very successful forum in Bhopal, so we are very much curious to know more about this. Please.
Excuse me, just a point of order. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I would kindly like to request Glenda, the evaluator for this speech, to read the objectives.
Well, Jan is already doing his third speech today, and there are 3 things that are very important. Is that I want to evaluate on the sincerity, on the conviction that he is going to say his speech, and as well on the using of words, or rather not using words.
In what later became to be called as Brundtland Report on Sustainable Development, in 1987, the World Commission on Environment and Development defined sustainable development as development that meets our needs without compromising the needs of our future generations. Sustainable development is a crucial part for our world's future, and sustainable energy is also just a crucial part of it. As Margot Wallström, the then EU Commissioner on Environment, said in 2004, there cannot be sustainable development without sustainable energy solutions. In the guise of this spirit, the Vienna Energy Forum opened its doors during last week, and more than 2,000 participants came there from all over the world. Vienna Energy Forum is a biannual meeting. It's a global platform where global leaders come to meet with each other, but it also brings on board practitioners from the field of sustainable development and, most important, sustainable energy. In this year's event, we had more than 30 plus ministers coming from developing and least developed countries. We had high-level panelists, we had 18 side events, technical side events on global sustainable energy solutions, and we had a lot of participation. One of the key points that emerged through this forum was the urgent need to take measures for sustainable energy solutions, be it in the field of sustainable cities or in the field of sustainable transport, cross-cutting issues such as the nexus between water, food and energy, and also sustainable capacity building for the countries that lack the technical and also the political means to implement reforms forward. One issue that stands close to my heart and that was closely presented during VEF was the gender mainstreaming activities. And there were several events which aim to increase awareness for gender equality. Gender equality is more than a goal in itself. It's a precondition, it's a prerequisite for meeting the challenge of reducing poverty, promoting sustainable development, and increasing good governance. And these are the words of Kofi Annan, the ex-UN Secretary General. He emphasizes the indispensable need for gender equality. And sustainable energy and gender equality are two goals which go hand to hand with each other. You cannot have a sustainable development without increasing the power of women, not only in their domestic role, but most important into making women active participants and determinants of the sustainable energy agenda, empowering them. And one of such initiatives, for instance, was Stand Tall, which was in collaboration between UNIDO and the East African and West African Center for Renewable Energy and Energy Efficiency. In other words, this initiative is aimed at giving women the power to enter the market of energy as professionals, as engineers, and this has not been the case so far in that part of the world. And not only there, generally speaking, women engineers are 1 out of 7 compared to their male counterparts. So this initiative very much focuses on fostering a culture that incentivizes women in embracing such roles to become tomorrow's leaders in sustainable energy solutions. Another important event was the launching of renewable energy centers at UNIDO, which is something that I'm very much involved with. And this relates to small island states. And there are 40 island states and territories throughout the world. Most of them are spread in the Pacific and Indian Ocean and the Caribbean. And the common denominator of these islands is that they are heavily indebted. Energy there costs a lot of money. It's the world's highest in comparison to other countries. Energy needs cannot be fulfilled locally, so they need to import a lot of fossil fuel. And these countries lack a lot of infrastructure. They don't have the capital, financial, and human capacity to overcome all the challenges that relate also to climate change, to global warming. you may well imagine that a country that has double its territory during a lower tide compared to a higher tide is facing existential problems. And this is a classical example where small is not always beautiful. So UNIDO, in collaboration with the government of Austria, is building these centers to help countries channel investments and build these regional centers, which allows them to pool technical expertise and implement reforms, be it on the political level, technical level, and also in the implementation of renewable energy projects or sustainable energy projects. And we are very much committed to this initiative, and the SITS representatives, ministers and ambassadors, particularly thank UNIDO and the government of Austria for this strong commitment. Finally, in coincidence to the closure of the Vienna Energy Forum, we had last week Pope Francis called for taking action on climate change. It is a moral obligation, he says, and we have to really pay attention to the future and the planet we leave to our children. And what he said in that encyclica very much resonates to the Vienna Energy Forum outcomes. I urge every one of you to read that document.
Thank you very much, Vic Tm, for your very exclusive report briefing on your forum, and I'm very happy to know that you also committed a lot in different phases for betterment of energy resources. I also hope that my country also benefits with your program, because in my country, Nepal, by the way, we have every day up to 16 hours of load shedding. That means we have no electricity for 16 hours a day, and this is going on for years, 20 years or more than that. So please, I also urge you to kindly think of the part. Thank you. Now please, you have chance to evaluate Vic Tm for his speech. 1 minute please, you can write down in that sheet. So it's 1 minute. Thank you. Now we move to second part of our session, table topic session. This, for me, when I come to Toastmasters meeting, is the most exciting part of the session, because table topic masters ask questions in such a way that everybody is looking forward or nervous or excited, and this is a very exciting time also because of this table topic session. I'm sure many people have developed their answering skills. Like in interview, we need to answer questions, we don't know what they are going to ask. All of a sudden, the interviewer asks something, we are supposed to be prepared and answer in the right way. And this is a very good help. Now I would like to introduce our topic masters of the day, Toastmaster people.
So, fellow Toastmasters, honoured guests, I'm going to repeat what our Toastmaster, the day Shuba, said today, and that is how useful Toastmasters, a Toastmasters club can be. I know you've been told many times, as you're going to be told still another time. Of course, that Toastmasters do help us speak in public, and that without fear. That's one of the main advantages, or one of the main aims. It also helps us to control our body language, to let it accompany our speech sometimes. And another good point I find in Toastmasters is that it helps us answer unexpected questions. And those unexpected questions can come from a colleague, from the boss. Well, we might not think about that much. It can come from a child, like, why is it that you tell me that I'm going to get a little brother soon, and where is it coming from? And you have to answer the question. Think of something quick. And also an unexpected question from your husband. Why is it that you didn't answer my phone call? I thought you were at home. You've got to find an answer. But I think that also, and here I'm speaking for myself, it does help us evaluate other people's performance, work, or attitude. And that is true of our professional life, but that is also true in our personal life. When you have to tell a friend, for instance, or a child in your family, something that might not be very pleasant, but you have to tell. And you have to find a balance between praise and criticism. And I find it very tricky. And I find that Toastmasters is very, very important and very useful there. I know that I got to know Toastmaster after my professional life was over. But honestly, I really wish I had come to Toastmaster earlier, because I was in a position in my professional life where I had to evaluate people regularly. You know the system in the UN, right? And I found it extremely difficult, because you don't necessarily understand what people expect from you. You have the impression you're repeating yourself all the time, because you have to do an evaluation every 6 months, things like that. And I know that in the UN you get professional training, official training. But I think that here in Toastmasters you get it free of charge. And the only thing that you have to give, and Maria Teresa said it, and it is commitment. If you commit yourself to come in regularly, if you commit yourself to take a role, I think that you will learn all these, you will get all these advantages I talked about. I'm absolutely convinced of that. So, now to my questions. I must admit that usually we don't ask guests questions, but today we have guests who are former Toastmasters or visiting Toastmasters, and I know that having myself been to other club meetings, I was asked questions. So today I'm also going to ask a question. I'm going to ask a question to our first guest, whose name, sorry, I didn't write down. Elena. Okay, to Elena. It might be a bit soon to ask you this question, but from what you've seen so far, can you see some specificities of this club, or can you see some differences between this club and the ones you've visited before?
Fellow Toastmasters, honor guests, this I learned first, but it's pretty soon now, I would say, to judge and to compare, but your commitment to the speech is obvious. and I like the way you're doing it. I can say it's smaller compared to the others, maybe because you have also shorter time. You have just 1 or 1.5 hours, and the other Toastmasters have up to 3 or 3.5 hours for all their speeches and all these things. But yeah, I like it very much for the moment, and yeah, it will be a great pleasure for me to join you for more sessions.
Well, thank you, Anna. Don't worry, you will be asked again at the end as a guest to give your opinion so you can complete what you just said. Now I'm going to ask our second guest today, who is not a guest. You're going to say, Maria Teresa, you wanted to say that she's not a guest?
I just want to say, I don't like, as a grammarian, previous Toastmaster, once a Toastmaster, you're still a Toastmaster. Maybe you're not active, but once a Toastmaster, always a Toastmaster.
Right, then I'm going to ask another Toastmaster to tell us what made you, who is obvious, but what made you come back? Or stay, whatever. I don't know. Being a Toastmaster, you're always a Toastmaster. Why are you here today, in other words?
Hello everyone. I came, obviously I'm out of practice, I had my first already. I came back because I'm in a different position than I was when I first started Toastmasters, and I need to have more self-confidence. And Maria Teresa has been listening to me complain about, oh my gosh, how do I make this happen? How do I confront this person with this issue? How do I stand up in the meeting and say, no, I actually do know what I'm doing, and I'm not just this new person. I've been here for some time. So Maria Teresa has gotten me back on track to get myself and my self-confidence in a meeting type environment up. So, thank you. And I said thank you. And I have to do this check system with myself. 3 U's and a thank you.
You remember the thank you.
remember.
You remember the thank you.
You don't say thank you at the end.
You shouldn't.
But I think a good point is that for your comeback, you've already taken a role.
I think it was expected of me, and I wasn't going to get out of it.
But that's good. You're getting into practice again.
Yeah.
So my third question is going to go not to a guest, but to a new member. Colade? You're a new member, right? You're fairly new.
Pretty much.
Pretty much. Okay. So don't worry, I'm not going to ask you very tough questions. What I would like to know, sincerely, what I would like to know is, what do you expect from Toastmasters, from this club, and what is it that you would like from us?
Hello, fellow Toastmasters and fellow guests. Excuse me, please.
No problem.
Basically, I joined Toastmasters. They invited me to attend Toastmasters last year, which I did. After I attended a couple of meetings, I disappeared for a while. Initially, I think there was this Witchcraft course that came up in February, which I enrolled for, and I also disappeared again because I lacked the confidence to stand up and face people, to face others. And I keep telling myself I need to be committed to whatever I want to do, even though I make the decision that this is what I want to do. When I get to the point of doing it, I always back out. Well, I think in the last 1 or 2 months, I told myself that there's nothing too difficult for me. As long as I put my mind to it and I'm committed to it, I can achieve whatever I want to achieve. And from then on, I've made it a point of duty to see that I attend meetings regularly. And I hope by coming to meetings, I'll be able to overcome my fear and be able to face the crowd and be able to speak in public. Thank you.
Well, I have one thing to say is that you've done it. You've done it, and you've done it so well that I've got to tell you something. people who stand up and answer an impromptu question for the first time don't even make it to 1 minute. Because impromptu speaking, you have between 1 and 2 or 2 minutes 30 to speak. So you made it to 1 minute, and I tell you, some people don't when they do it the first time. So you're on very good track. And I'm glad to see that you're committed. And as I told you, this is the main point. If you start, you won't stop. The thing is to start. And when you see the advantages you get out of it and how you progress, and the senior members among us will tell you, we've always seen it, how people start and how they end up taking part in a competition. Maya Teresa, is that right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's amazing, and it helps us in our professional as well as in our personal life. And with that, I will give the floor to our Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you very much.
Can we have the
Oh, sorry, I forgot to say, I have to, so you have to evaluate, I'm sorry, you have to evaluate, so I will repeat the name of the speakers and people I put questions to. So the first question went to Elena. And that was, the question was, give us 1 or 2 differences between this club and the club's meeting you attended. My second question went to Natalie, and what made you come back. And my third question went to Colade, and what do you expect from this club?
Thank you, topic masters, Nicole, for all these very interesting questions, and also the answers were really very, very interesting. Now we move to the third part of the meeting. That is evaluation of general evaluators. Yeah, that this is it. I would like to kindly ask General Evaluator of our meeting today to make this evaluation.
So the first part of the evaluation is the evaluation of the prepared speech. So, are you ready, Glenda?
Yes.
I'd like to call on Glenda to evaluate our prepared speech today. Let us welcome Glenda.
Fellow Toastmasters, our guests, Dindan, it was a very informative topic you had for us today, again as the last time where you have done your second speech. So I found it very interesting to find out about a topic that I normally do not read, but probably we should all know about environmental management, because it's not only a topic, it surrounds us. So I find it very, very good that you picked up this general objective, telling us everything what happened in the forum and small parts of this big topic. But I couldn't really find a specific purpose. I think there were more than one specific purposes. The general was inform us. The second, you talked about probably women in environmental management, and at the end you told us we should read the manual, the document. Probably an advice would be telling us, they probably didn't capture it, but which document? And how many pages? Or where do we get it? Can you send it to us? That would be nice. I mean, I wouldn't mind reading about it. And if you wanted to urge us into reading the document, probably that would be an additional information. What's an advice that how would I I'm part of your crowd, and I'm not in environmental management, so I'll just, I see it from the event organizer point of view. But as I would have said, if you see your crowd, out of 14 people, 12 are women. Why don't you just pick up one of the subjects and say, women, you have to work more for the environment. You have to tell other women to be part of it. And try to bring your soul in and your idea and convince us how important this actually is, because it is an important subject. I liked your speech, I liked receiving the informations, and I think it's something I am going to as well inform myself in. And well, then another thing I wanted to say was you had a hand in your pocket again. You know, last time you did it, so awesome. And you should have used probably notes. But I saw that towards the middle of your speech, you were more confident. You were showing that you were kind of part of the subject. And I like that. I like to see that you were grasping your subject from the side, that you were really confident.
So we evaluate the whole meeting, and we are also going to evaluate the use of language. I'd now like to call upon our grammarian to give her grammarian's report.
Thank you, Madam General Evaluator. Fellow Toastmasters, honored guests. Well, I had to have my ears like this. Your English is very, very good. There were a few things that hit me. Plus, I'd like to mention I've been going to other Toastmaster clubs, and they have a feature where they actually present expressions or words that they like to hear. So I'm going to do that in here as well. But first to the bad news. The bad news. Your speech was brilliant, Jen, but I think at the very end you made a slight faux pas because you said in coincidence with the closure of the session and then continued with the Pope's encyclical. I don't think in coincidence is quite right there. I'm not even sure what you really wanted to say. In conjunction with, or, but you did say in coincidence, so that's not right.
Coincidentally, I wanted to say
That perhaps would have worked, but in coincidence, I'm afraid not. I'm afraid not, sorry. I'm strict. I also heard inform myself in, I think it's inform myself on. But I'll be honest, now working in the UN for so many years, and the Brits using prepositions differently from Americans, I'm confused too. Plus I have the German creeping in, so, I'll say things like, somebody says, have a nice weekend, and I'll say, and you too, which a native speaker would never say. So again, with the prepositions, you too, or and you, if you're Brits. Okay, so again, maybe it's not a grammarian's point, but I'd like to mention, do you realize how often you say, I'd like to call on, when you're trying to introduce somebody? Try to think of a different way of saying it. It gives me great pleasure to let the first speaker come to the podium, but I'm a little bit, it's tired. I'd like to call on. So try to change that. Again, just my own personal feeling. I don't like this always being referred to as a session. For me, it's a Toastmaster meeting. Okay? I mean, you could call it a session if meeting gets tired, but I prefer to hear it being called a meeting. It's again semantics, but you could give somebody the floor, literally, and we do say that sometimes, but I would prefer to hear, I return control of the section of the meeting to the Toastmaster of the day, or I hand over, rather than giving the floor. What else do I want to say? Yeah. Okay. I particularly liked in your speech, so I'm going to mention it, the small is not always beautiful. That for me, I just, I get goosebumps, because that's kind of overused, but it was very nicely put here. Plus, I'd like to remind everybody that here in the club, when you finish something, you use it as a filler, and you use it because you don't know what to do. But even a former president who's rusty remembered that you should never say, at the end of your speech, or your table topic, or your evaluation, or whatever, thank you. You say, I return control of the meeting to the person who's not reading the next section. So please, no thank yous. Again, in a business session, absolutely. But here in Toastmasters, not done. So I return control to our capable and competent general manager of today, Toastmaster Vinny.
May I call upon our counter to give the report of the ums and ahs and fillers.
Fellow Toastmasters, honored guests, we clearly miss Claire Edwards, because with Claire Edwards you can't count a lot. But Rana, and the main thing what I noticed with Rana and Lily, there is a pause. After and to start with, there is a little bit of pause. Maybe we don't need that. So Rana, I have counted ahs and ums 4 times, and Lily pause twice, just a pause. And Gentian, our speaker, there were repetition 4 times, ands and ums almost 0, just 1. And Nicole only 1 arms, and a repetition again, two repetition, starting with something and you said the same thing again. Glenda, there were repetition 3 times, and ums and arms, and you say and there is a pause, and then continue. And then arms, and then continue. That I counted 6 times. In table topics, Toastmaster Elena 3, Toastmaster Natalie 2, Toastmaster Kolade 3 times. And Toastmaster Maria Theresia, I counted just 1 arms. That's it. That ends my report. Thank you.
Natalie, would you like to give the timekeeper's report, please?
So, Genton, your speech was 7 minutes and 37 seconds. So, in a competition, you would have been disqualified at 7 seconds. So, you should work on how to end your speech when you first see the red card come up, so that you feel satisfied and you don't feel rushed to get everything out and then stop talking, right? So, just try and find. We always had some sort of ender. I don't know how to describe it now. I don't know if you remember this, Maria Teresa, but when you saw the red card, you had prepared something that was particular to your speech, so that when you came to the end, you saw the red card, you knew you had to wrap up, you were able to stop yourself from trying to do the speeding up to get all your information out, because that always happened to me. And you were able to say your prepared sentence, and then hand it over, and that was it. It was a way to close no matter where you were. So you were 7:37. Elena, you had 55 seconds. The Maria Teresa talked about that earlier, or no, I'm sorry, you, right, you should try and do 1 minute, and it's usually the early people, the newcomers who have problems with making it to 1 minute. On that note, I had 45 seconds, so I was the shortest of you all. Yeah, former president, all right, so I win that one. And Kalada, you did great, you did 1 minute and 30 seconds, so that was right on.
Yeah.
And the tabletop was right perfect in your timing, it would have been beneficial to you in competition. Linda, you were 3 minutes and 15 seconds. We allowed 3 minutes, so you've just gone a little bit over. So that's something to watch, stay on topic, but overall I think that you did a good evaluation. So just maybe while you're evaluating or after you've finished writing your notes before you talk, you can kind of recap how you can make it a little bit more brief. And the only other person that I counted, and I'm not entirely sure why, was the Maria Teresa, the grammarian, because it said it's 3 minutes 10 seconds. So you went over, but I'm not really sure why I did that. Are we supposed to do the?
We are timing everything now within the business section because we always have an issue with time.
Okay, so that's where I stopped. I got the grammarian, not anybody else. Sorry about that.
We have a ballot counter report who will tell us who won the best table topics. Natalie.
So it was pretty close distributed between all three of us, but Kalani, congratulations.
That takes me to my general evaluation of the meeting. I think we could make a record here and just replay the tapes from last time. Starting with punctuality, this was extreme today. There was hardly anybody here at the starting time of the meeting, including the prescribed general evaluator that had signed up for the meeting. But not to go down on those who did sign up, there were a lot of roles that had not been even assigned, and some people came without telling us that they were coming. So my general evaluation would be, please go to Easy Speak and tell us that you're coming. Go there again to confirm that you're coming. If you've requested a speech and you've been assigned the speech, go back in there and say, yes, I am coming, and I will give that speech. Put in the topic of the speech that you're going to give. Volunteer for the next level. Take your leadership manual and see the next project that you can fulfill so that you can grow and be evaluated for the leadership track as well as the communication track. This is something that we want to accelerate in this club because we've been focusing since Speechcraft on giving the speeches, but Toastmasters is about competent communicator and competent leadership. So we are learning leadership skills and communication skills. The preparation of the room, I am very, very grateful. This club is always so wonderful in terms of cooperation and impromptu commitment to the cause. And I'd like to thank Nicole for being here early, preparing the room before I even got here, and for all those who came, even the volunteers and visitors who came and helped with preparing the room. And for those who jumped in and took roles, the grammarian who even prepared a word of the day. Commitment, it's commitment to the cause. You want to object?
I'm so sorry to interrupt you, but I got so distracted I didn't report on the usage of the word of the day.
Okay,
So would you like
please
to
do that
it
now. Please do that now.
Okay, so now I can add you because you've added it in the meantime. Okay, so fellow Toastmasters, our guests, you know, I was going to, Madam, before President. The word of the day, I was very pleased to see that many of you embraced this and did use it. Shubha, bravo. Nicole, you did it twice. Elena, you used it as well. Faladi, you used it. Lily, you used it. But let's not just use it, let's do it. Let's be it. Let's be committed. Committed. So, Madam General Evaluator.
We also had an impromptu committed camera person who volunteered to take over that role, which is an integral part of this Toastmasters Club, where the recordings of the meetings are then available for further perusal of the active members for them to judge themselves and see where they can improve. The Toastmaster of the day was very courageous, jumping in and taking over this role, and I think for each one of us there is always a threshold that we need to go beyond, that we need to learn to overcome ourselves, and I'd like to congratulate each and every one of you who has taken on a role and given a speech. And even though I noticed a lot of nervousness with this hopping from one foot to the other, the hand in the pocket was already mentioned, but I must commend you. You kept taking your hand out of your pocket and really put it in front of you, but it was back in the pocket. So I had the impression that it was a big challenge, but I also got the impression you did a great job, and I also was very, very impressed with the content. I could see this is a person who is an expert, who knows the material and just wants to get out there and tell the world about these important issues. And I'm so glad that we as a club can support each other to appreciate these skills and to learn and accelerate the learning of these skills. Also, our fellow Toastmaster Marie Teresa, our veteran member, who is the expert in parliamentary procedure in Toastmasters practice and knows how to raise a point of order and how to educate us in how to deal with issues and things that are happening. Once a Toastmaster, always a Toastmaster. I think that's an excellent point of order, and I think that's something that we can really embrace and take to heart. I'd like to point out that the evaluation is always a personal opinion of the person giving it. So if there's something in the evaluation that doesn't suit us, then it's up to us to put it into the right category and not allow it to destroy our morale or demotivate us. It's important to take it in the spirit that it's given and to recognise it is always just a personal opinion. And when if there's something there that we can learn from, then to embrace it and to go forward. And I found that the evaluation was an excellent recognition of improvement, which is something that we have when we have the continuity in the club, when we have people that we know who are presenting and presenting again. And even if we're presenting the same material, that is the beauty of the experience that we have here, that we can continue, just as we had at the last meeting, the experience of the charity event for Nepal, and we can learn from each other and recognise and also give credit to each other for the improvements that we see happening, even on the grounds of the meeting of the club, of the existence of the club itself. That concludes my evaluation of the meeting today, and I would like to hand back over to the Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Lily, for this exclusive evaluation. I am very happy in the sense that this Toastmaster meeting always runs smoothly, no matter there is no role, no people, and so on. And it has been my experience all the time, somehow we manage to run it smoothly. Thank you so much, everybody. I think I hand over now. Chairperson. Before I hand over to our chairperson today, I would like to make a personal note that I would like to thank you all for supporting me, my group, for the charity event on 11 June, which was quite successful. And credit goes to also table topic sessions we can say, sessions, and also all the Toastmasters and Toastmaster of Vienna itself, that I could stand there during the event and stand and give a speech. In the beginning I was a bit nervous, but then I could control myself, and I think I did it smoothly. And thank you, each of you, for supporting me. I got chance even to repeat my speech here for the third time. I'm totally grateful to all of you. Thank you so much. With this note,
I'm happy as well. And one of the things that makes me happy is that we are finishing this term, Shubha, and you are being the Toastmaster of the day.
oh, thank you.
It took us time to make you become more active, but as you see, you are one of us. You are a Toastmaster already for a long time. I'm very glad to see you in action.
Thank you for your
In the business section at the end of the meeting, we always ask our guests what their opinion of the meeting was. I would like to know, for example, if you want to start, this is only one meeting that you have seen. Would you like to continue coming? This is something that you may think it's interesting for you. Tell us your opinion.
Thank you for everything. I was very impressed with the systems. The first one is your manner. I would like to learn how I could be so well mannered. And the second thing is that I would like to know how to criticize other people. So if possible, I would like to continue to come and then learn how I can achieve myself. Thank you.
One skill we learn here at Toastmasters is to give constructive feedback. So giving the criticism in a positive manner so that the person can then do or learn something or do something better. So yes, this is the right place to practice that. And if you want, in 2 weeks probably, the second Tuesday and the fourth Tuesday of July, second Tuesday of July there will be a meeting, then we will make a summer break. But of course you are invited to come next time and see more. And if you're then interested, you can even join us and then start participating actively in the meetings. Yeah. if you want to give us your opinion, you have already said a lot. I heard you from the back, but if you want to add something about the meeting or our club.
I would like to thank Lily that she brought me in. Thank for the role. This was my first role in for the Toastmasters. I like it very much, as I already said, and I would be glad if I would have the opportunity to come again. Thank you.
And nothing. Our always Toastmaster.
I've had lots of different titles today. Yes, I'm interested in coming back in. I don't think I would have come today if it wasn't something that I wanted to do again. Please be patient with me. I'm in the pile of people waiting for my contract to be renewed. I've already been told, yes, it's in there in the pile, but it's supposed to be on the 1st of July and yet to be seen. So if it takes a while until I know how long I'm here, then it'll be that long until I come back. But yes, thank you. I really enjoyed it, and I think you guys are doing great. So.
Another part in the business section is that we always give a ribbon to the winner of the table topics session. I'm also very happy to see that Colade is the winner today. I encourage you to continue coming as religiously as you have already come. This is something very important. Coming as religiously as you come, so as frequently as you come to the meetings, helps you also to become more acquainted with how it works, and then you know how the roles are and you dare to take any role. But yes, we have a problem. But in any case, I want to congratulate you. We promise. So to conclude, this is the last meeting of the term 14-15 that I presided. I want to thank the committee that made the club really run. I want to say the names of the colleagues. This was Vicky, she was our VPE. Lily, our Vice President for Membership. We have Nicole as our Vice President for PR. Brigitte, our very committed treasurer. Camelia was our secretary, and then myself, I was the president. Now we have a new committee as of next meeting. Our fellow Toastmaster Valerie, she will be the president of the club. Lily will be the vice president of education. Enoch will be the vice president of membership. Nicole will be our secretary. Brigitte will be the Toastmaster, the treasurer again. And Rina, our sergeant at arms. So I want to say thank you to all of you because you volunteered to take a role in the committee. Toastmaster clubs and Toastmaster meetings take a lot of, administrative work to make them happen. So there has to be a committee behind. As you see, it's 7 people running the committee of the club. So everybody can join the committee. Everybody is actually, we need everybody to be proactive and active so that the club continues moving forward. This is a club that will be 30 years old in October this year, if I'm not wrong. Maria Teresa? Yes.
Next year.
Next year, yeah. 86 it was founded. So it's probably a very old club that we want to continue being as lively as it has been. And Maria Teresa, you have a point of order?
I'm so sorry. I mean, I'm going to cry. I'm going to cry because I have been here from the beginning. I just want to say there have been people that have come and gone. I mean, the nature of the UN, contracts don't get extended, people go back to their home countries, etc. But the people that kind of make the club run, it's individuals, and everybody has a role to play. And I think, I love the way that you said you disappeared. But the main thing is you're here today, you came back. So don't disappear so often. and again, our president, I was reminded, I had forgotten why Natalie had to resign, at least in her term, because she got pregnant. And I think just by your pregnancy, you have done a marvelous job this year. Kind of looking after things. And you are wonderful. And I just would like to see a little more commitment because I know Lily is racking her brain and sending emails and calling people up. I mean, we're all adults. I'm not the biggest fan of Easy Speak. I mean, Easy Speak and I are not on speaking terms always. But it is a club management software. And it does make the work of members of the committee a lot easier. So I do encourage you, and I'm not going to do this, I will encourage you to please use the Easy Speak. And please be committed and tell your friends and colleagues to come to this club. Because I see some things, you know, not enough people, last minute things, etc., etc. Be on board and be here. And like I said, don't disappear. Don't disappear. Sorry.
Thank you, Maria Teresa, for your very important words.
30 years.
And thank you for still being here and not disappearing. And these are words that I have heard throughout the meeting: commitment to the cause, cooperation and help. And I want to finish my term thanking Lily, because many things have happened in these 6 months with our VPE, Vicky, with myself. I am here now because of my mother. She's helping me. Many things happen to our lives so that we have to stop coming and disappearing. So yeah, people do disappear. It's natural. We hope that they come back. But there has been Lily always, and had she not been here, we would have not had many meetings in these past 6 months. So the last thanks are for you. And with this, I close the meeting and the term, and I wish you the best. And please don't disappear. If you don't know your EasySpeak password, let us know, Lily or myself. We can reset it for you, and then you can start being active in EasySpeak to then be active in the club. And with this, I close.